sports, and politics. Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Derek's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do for you all day, every day. Now, look, I'm a good person. I try to be a good person. So with that being said, I wish Mr. Taylor well. I know he's going through some things right now. He will be back on the show. He's just not in today. But I wouldn't say I'm going to miss the banter. I'm going to miss the banter today. Anyway, we're going to talk about a couple things. First things are NCAA men's and women's basketball tournament. I really wanted to have a debate with Mr. Taylor on this because he had posted in one of our groups that Texas, one of the teams I love. Yeah, look at them girls go. And I was like, I'll put it this way. I was not surprised that South Carolina did what they did. In the second half, I was surprised because they clamped down. But they played the game smart. They got Texas's leading scorer in trouble. I'm talking about the women's NCAA side right now. She was in trouble. Foul trouble. 2 fouls within the first quarter. And the women play 4 quarters. 3 fouls by halftime. They only get 5. And without her on the court, you could tell the stark difference. You could tell. There was no mistake as to what it is that, took place. Give me 1 second, guys. What I'm going to say is, when you look at it from there, not from there, but when you look at it, it's different. They are a different team. Texas was how should I say it? Texas was a team that they play big. They play big. Girls are big. Not as big as UCLA's, and I was so disappointed in UCLA. We're going to get to them in a minute. But Texas legit had me worried that they were going to beat South Carolina. But Dawn Staley, she took her girls, and she said, look, this is what we're going to do. Attack, 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 play defense, get their best player in foul trouble. That's what they did. And in the second half, South Carolina came out and stomped a mud hole in Texas. Why? Because the best player for Texas could not be on the floor. And when they needed her on the floor, I think she fouled out, if I'm not mistaken. And Texas goes on to lose by almost 20 points. It was a tight ball game. Texas led 35 to 34, 33 at halftime. Final score was 77 or something like that, to 58, 59, something like that. You can't defeat good coaching when the good coach has top players at every position that listen, écoute to what is being said. Now, I have no idea. Listen to me. I understand that, UConn has the best player in basketball, female basketball right now, but she cannot be the only thing that beats South Carolina. UCLA had their players. Their volleyball team is their basketball team. Every person's over 6 foot. That's nuts. That is, especially for women's basketball. That's great recruiting because they were number 1 overall seed. And they're going to be a force next year. Once this young lady from UConn leaves this year, I did not expect that UConn and UCLA game to go down the way it did. Did not. Not at all. UConn has a history. Gino has a history. Ballers, stars. He has one now. I honestly don't think that one player is going to be able to beat South Carolina the way she beat UCLA. Amazed at how things went down with the UCLA-UConn game. 14 points or 13 and a half was the spread. They did more than cover that. UConn is nice. Don't get me wrong. They are a very good team. But without their captain on the floor, they can be beat. And I suspect that Dawn Staley is going to employ the same concept on UConn that she did on Texas. Now, what made Texas loss to South Carolina even worse? South Carolina beat them twice already in the season. And it is so hard to beat a team 3 times in a row in one season. And it seemed like, as I said, the first half, Texas was going to do it. I think it started out like 12-5, Texas or something like that. Then South Carolina came back and did what they did. UConn versus South Carolina, my opinion, it's going to be must-see TV. It's going to be must-see TV between those two. I'm just putting it out there like that. Let's move over to the men's basketball, where I see, look, for the past month, Florida has been the best team in the nation. Auburn has been ranked number 1 in the nation. Auburn almost did not make it to the Final Four. But all the ones acknowledge me. If you don't get it, it's okay. All the ones made it to the Final Four. Houston, Duke, Florida, Auburn. So it's chalk. Mr. Groom got hurt late in that final game that they played. Elbow. Some part of his arm. He's had 6 days to heal or get treatment, things of that nature. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Florida's going to go on a shooting spree. They're going to get Groom in trouble. Now, let me be honest here. Auburn has two nice twin towers, Groom being the main focus, right? But once he's out, the other kid steps up, but he's not as effective as Groom in all aspects of the game, right? Groom goes one-on-one. Groom shoots threes. He passes well in the close to the bucket. Dominant force, right? The problem is, the problem is that Groom has a nick. Something wrong with that arm. His strong arm, which is he's right-handed, if I'm not mistaken. Can't get rebounds. If you notice during the last few, like 5-6 minutes of the game between Auburn and who did they just beat? I forget who they just beat. It wasn't Maryland. Or was it Maryland? I think it was Maryland. He was not using his right arm. Rebounds, blocks, shooting, very little shooting. But defensively, running back, that's going to be a problem. Because Florida has some bigs. They're not as powerful, in my opinion, as Auburn's bigs. But if Groom is one arm and he's not at full strength, which we know he won't be, it's going to be a problem for Auburn. I think Florida is going to beat Auburn. I think the score is going to be lower because Auburn doesn't want to run up and down with Florida. They do that and Florida start hitting shots, Auburn's going to be in trouble. They can hit their own shots, but Auburn will be in trouble if they get in a shootout with Florida. The best thing for Auburn to do, especially with a hurt Groom, play half-court basketball and tenacious defense. Go to a zone. Man-to-man a little bit, but go to a zone and force them to shoot from outside. Now, the problem with that is Florida can shoot from outside. They can. But if you go one-on-one and I'm the coach of Florida, I'm making Groom use his right arm all the time. I'm posting my guy up on the low block, left and right side, where Groom is going to have to use his right hand. So I'm going to post him up on the facing the bucket on the right low post. And I'm telling my guy to go inside every time. Fake out, go inside. Make Groom use that injured right arm. And on the other side, when it's on the left side, instead of going inside, go under and behind. Make him use that right arm. One of two things is going to happen. He's going to foul. He's going to give you the bucket because he doesn't want to get hurt any further. The other part, which definitely could happen, is the other big collapses. But if the other big collapses, that's a pass. That's a pass all day. Either way. But you force their best player to get in foul trouble and to hurt or not use his power arm that's already injured. Do it. And if you got to kick it out, because you got shooters from the outside. You got shooters from the outside if you're Florida. I think Bruce Pearl has done a great job getting his team to be the number one team in the nation with a MVP-like player with Groom to be the best player in college basketball. But what I also think is, like John Cena, your time is up. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now. It's the franchise. I'm telling you. Why, Cena? Why? That's what people are going to be saying about Auburn. Chuck, my guy. I love Charles Barkley. He's proud of him for making it this far. And I would be too if I was an Auburn fan, War Eagle. But they're going to lose to Florida. Florida, in my opinion, not even my opinion, it's fact. The last month of the basketball season and going to this tournament, they have been the best team in males college basketball. Point blank, period. They have. Houston has been the second best. Let's talk about Houston and Duke. Duke struggles when the game is physical. I am so disappointed that OU did not keep Sampson back in the day. I understand the issues, but Sampson is a builder of programs with quality players. Houston, just 2 years ago, was a run and gun, shoot, play solid defense team. The last couple of years, they have been solid defense with good low post play. And this is what's going to happen here. Flag is going to get beat up. He's going to get beat up. Those guards at Duke are going to have to try to win this game because Flag is going to have to go in there, try to rebound with people that's his size and maybe a few bigger than him, which when Duke plays people that get physical with Flag, they don't do well. So with that being the case, Houston is on a roll. They survive, what they survived, and then they handled Tennessee. Manhandled Tennessee. Granted, Tennessee came off a very physical matchup with Kentucky, and their legs are probably dead. But Houston is on a roll too. I think they're like 30. The last 31 games, they won 29 or 30 of the 31 games. It is what it is. I'm telling you right now. It is nuts. Someone's at the door. I don't know who's at my door, but hey, somebody's at the door, man.
You said what?
Somebody's at the door.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Anyway, moving forward, guys. Moving forward. Houston is making things happen. And I think their strong defense is going to keep this game under 130 points. I really do. Last couple games have not gone over 120, 125, I believe. Crazy. With that being the case, and if they beat up Cooper Flag, Houston walks out of this game going to the national championship. I really believe so. I really believe that if Houston gets extremely physical and the refs aren't calling these fouls, at least right away, they are making it very difficult for Duke to win this game. Quite honestly, I think Duke needs to just try to shoot the lights out. Try to shoot the lights out. Houston can do that, but that's not the makeup of their team right now. Houston's makeup is let's play physical ball. Let's get to the bucket. Let's get people in foul trouble. Let's cause our bigs to be, attack and kick it to our guys that can shoot. If not, those guys that can shoot are going to feed it to the bigs all day. Cooper Flag is going to have to play hard. I think it's Nupel or Canupel or something like that. Kid's a shooter, but he can be used on defense. He can be used on defense. So I would not allow that to take place if I'm Duke's coach. I'm not going to put Canupel or Nupel, I can't pronounce his name, sorry guys, in that position to pick up fouls because he's a shooter. And you need that shooter. Cooper Flag, a little worried about that. Just a little. We'll see. I mean, Duke might come out and shoot the lights out and cause Houston to try to do the same. I think it's a better situation for Duke if that were the case. But will it be? I don't know. Geez. These people. Review item. Let me review the item. Sorry, guys. Got to review the item. Extra large storage container. Okay. Fine. I'll approve it. Fine. Approve. Okay. With that being the case, NCAA men's basketball is going to be pretty dope. Along with the women's championship game and these Final Fours. The Final Four game happening. I mean, the men's championship game, I believe, is happening Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. But in my opinion, both the men's and women's board that created the brackets got it absolutely right. Definitely in the men's, all 4 number ones made it to the Final Four. In the women's, 3 of the 4 number ones made it to the Final Four. And I hearken to say this. If Juju didn't get hurt, I think all 4 would have made it. Well, yeah, all 4 would have made it because Juju and company would have beat UConn. I think so. I think USC they have to develop that other star they have. She's a young one. She's a center. Juju was a guard. In women's basketball, guards and small forwards, just my thought process, are what's dominating. You don't have that many dominant centers. Oregon had one. Young lady's 6'8". 6'8". But the guard play around her, a former Duke guard, and I think another guard was there for Oregon, couldn't pull it out. It's that forward and the guard play. USC needs – Juju's probably going to come back. She got injured pretty bad. I don't know if she's going to be able to come back before the season starts because that looks like it's going to be rehab for at least a year. But I believe both boards got the men's and women's brackets done right this time around. I'm happy about that because it kept a lot of people's interest that didn't have interest, especially in the women's. But last year, I think this year too, women's basketball is generating more money and more viewers than men's. Bracketology, y'all. Bracketology. All right, with that being said, let's move on to the next subject matter, which happens to be NFL rookie quarterbacks. Will there be 3 quarterbacks taken in this first round this year? The unfortunate truth to that is probably. This is my personal thought, okay? I do not like all of Cam Ward's total package. I don't. There are people that do. There are folks that follow Cam Ward and his journey from school to school to now going to the pros. I think you have a number 1 overall pick that's not a quarterback. I think it's Abdul Carter from Penn State. I think that kid is number 1, and Tennessee doesn't pass on him. There's not enough people trying to jump up to number 1 or number 2 for that matter to get a quarterback. And if the experts say that Cam is the best quarterback of the class, I don't agree. and he's a changer, why wouldn't Tennessee get him? Because they thought Will Levis, who they got started second round, who thought he was a first rounder, was the answer. And he's not. Therefore, they're looking for a quarterback now. But they're not going to get one here. I think they're going to get Dart, and they're going to get Dart probably the later part of the first round, early second. That means Cleveland, you're on the clock. I also wanted Jerry here for this. Cam Ward, in my opinion, is a Jeff George, is a Jamarcus Russell, is another big arm quarterback that's big, but lacks, in my opinion, what it takes to be a true professional quarterback that leads the team. He's got arm strength, arm talent, out of this world. But his demeanor that I've seen through all these, sessions with his quarterback coach, Shadur Sanders, and then his pro day was okay. I mean, people got wild because he rolled out and threw the ball 60, 70 yards downfield. He does that all the time. He does not stay in the pocket. And Miami didn't have the best offensive line, but he didn't have the worst one either. He locked in too many times on his receiver. He predetermined who he wanted to throw the ball to, but then when that coverage changed after the snap, he was stuck because he had already said he's going to throw to whoever. Now, some of his very good throws have come while on the run, not from the pocket. He does not surgically take apart a team. Neither does Shadur. But Shadur, and I'm going to get to this part, because I think he's going to fall, and he might even fall to the Giants at 3, but the Giants aren't going to pick him there. They're going to get Travis. But I think the Giants are going to jump back up and get Shadur. But we'll get to that when the time comes. Cam, as an evaluator of talent, right? I look for, especially the quarterback position, a person that can think through the situation, more so power through the situation. Cam uses his arm, and it's a talented arm, to power through situations, and it works in college. It works in college. But it does not work at the pro level. The ownership of Cleveland said, yeah, they made a mistake with Deshaun Watson, giving them all that money in. Now they're going to part with him at some point, still owing him a lot of money. But I think if they get Cam Ward, they're going to make another big mistake. His mechanics, as an evaluator of talent, are not good. They are very sloppy. He's had many quarterback coaches. In fact, he and Shadur had the same quarterback coach, but his mechanics remain the same. He could get away with running with the ball like a loaf of bread and all this other stuff, trying to run away or run around from, slower defensive players. When you see a defensive lineman that runs a sub-5, like a 4.6, 4.7, which some receivers and some quarterbacks were running, not receivers, I say tight ends or whatever. You got to question yourself. If I'm not getting no faster, I got to change something. Get rid of the ball sooner. Protect the ball better. Because in college, you might not have gotten that hit from the blind side or whatever that caused you to fumble. But from the pros, that's going to happen more often than not. And with Tennessee, it's going to happen a lot. Ask Will if you go to Tennessee, which I don't think you're going to do. Ask Deshaun, who has had multiple surgeries because the offensive line couldn't protect him. You change out Watson for Ward, same offensive line, same result. Less experience. Less experience. Man, these people about to not I'm about to be a little upset. Okay. But let's say he goes to Cleveland. That leaves Shador on the clock. Also leaves the Giants on the clock. They're going to pick between Shador and Travis. Here's why I don't think they get Shador, Jameis, and Russell. Unless Dayball is saying, hey, give me Shador, let him sit behind Jameis and Russell and learn for a year, and we'll make things happen. But then they gamble, man, because Vrabel already likes Hunter, the Patriots. And Hunter and Diggs in practice would be nuts. Nuts. Hunter playing defense, and this was another offense, but making that Diggs, Shakur, and Hunter as receivers with Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid. Flip it over. Christian and Hunter. I love Christian. I was so mad when Washington didn't get him. I was so mad. And he was sitting right there for Washington to get. Patriots got him. Big physical corner that could run. Hunter, put some weight on him. He is physical, but he needs some weight. Lockdown. That would be terrible for everybody in the AFC East, in my opinion, if Mike Vrabel got his hands on Travis Hunter. It'd be terrible. We know Shador's not going there because Shador is a quarterback, and they already got the quarterback. I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to be a interesting situation because I think Shador will slide to the Raiders. I don't understand why folks are going to put their issues with Dion on Shador, but to me, it's plain to see that's what they've done. It really is. And when you do that, that's like, okay, well, Shador's a good kid. You know, we're going to forget that Tom Brady was helping mentor him and all this other stuff, but we don't want that drama with Dion. We don't need the attitude. Shador does not have an attitude. He doesn't. He knows how to be a pro better than Cam, my opinion. My opinion. But if he goes to the Raiders, that's what Dion would like. He wants him. There's video out of him talking to Shador about being in the same class or the same room with Russell and Jameis, and the prayer and all the other stuff before the game. It's a joke, but I know the Giants may have said they're going to take him at that position, but not if Hunter's there. I don't think they will. But we'll move on. And get ready to conclude this show because I have other things I got to do. Plus, there's not that much to talk about in the NFL right now. I want to do a mock draft today. I'll probably do one next week once Mr. Taylor's available. That way, it's good. We can think on our toes and pick against each other. It makes no sense to me to do a mock by myself. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for this abbreviated version. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you next show. With that being said, thank y'all and see ya.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?